this video we are gonna install a web server in Linux. We're gonna do so with the apt. Apt is a command line utility. It's called the apt manager. So let's do apt-help. And you will see. Let's see if it says a description here. Apt is a command line package manager and provides commands for searching and managing, as well as querying information about packages. So there are packages which are all software, which you can all install using the apt package manager. Let's zoom in a little bit. Before we're gonna install the web server, we wanna always update the apt package manager. So by doing that, you press apt update. Oh, by the way, in Linux, we are, if you do who am I, you can see you are logged in as hacker. So you want to do sudo, which means do it as an administrator, basically. So do apt update. And when you do that, it asks for the password. We did not configure, I did remove the password. So I'll just press enter and it will update. Our packet manager, and after that we do sudo apt upgrade, which will install upgrade the update we just did. So we are gonna wait for this to finish. Okay, so once that's complete, we are gonna install Apache. Apache is a web server. You have many different web servers. You have Apache and you have Nginx and you have a few others. We are gonna install Apache. To that, we're gonna do apt install Apache 2. Just gonna press enter. Let's see. Permission denied. Sudo administrator. Install Apache 2. Ask for console. We just press enter, and you can see it's was automatically installed and it's no longer required. So once you have installed Apache 2, we're gonna have to test it. To do that, you can type in the following command: service Apache 2 status. This will get us the information about the status of Apache 2, and we can see it's loaded, disabled, active, inactive, it's dead. So it's not active. To activate the service, we do service Apache 2 start. Once we do that, it should start. It's asking us to authenticate. We're just gonna press authenticate here, and once we completed the command, it should be active. So we can type in again service, which is just standing for service Apache 2, and we will check the status again, and we can see that it's loaded. And we are gonna have to go to our website. We are just gonna type in localhost, which will go to our loopback address, so our internal networking. And the reason we are so that's actually it's the same as going 120.0.1, but because we want to type in the domain name, we're gonna type in localhost, and we can see our Apache 2 server is running, so we can visit our website. And the reason that localhost is working is because we have a host file on our system, and it automatically translates the domain name localhost to 127.0.0.1. I will show you this actually. So like I've explained, in our etc folder there is all our configuration files, and in our etc folder there's a file called hosts, and that is where our domain translation local file is. So basically when you go to a website, it will first look at a local file called the host file, and if it doesn't find the domain name in the host file, then it will ask a domain name to translate it. So if we do cat, which cat basically shows us what the file contains. So if we do cat, I'm going to show you a quick example. So we are in our home directory. We'll just create a file. You can use nano file name, so nano test. So Actually, I'm gonna use touch. So touch is a command that creates a file. So if we do touch test and we press ls now, we can see there is a uh, test file. And if we do ls-la, which I showed in the previous video, you can also see that test is created, and it doesn't say D, this says a stripe, so this is a file. And if we cat test now, it's an empty file, so it doesn't show us any output. To edit the file, we can use the nano command and the file name. So we use nano test, and then we can just edit our file. Let's just edit let's go to space. And you can press Ctrl X to exit, and it will ask you, do you want to save it? We press yes. So if we press cat test now, you can see let's go to space. So this sentence is in our file. We want to see what's in the host file. We press cat/etc/hosts, because there's a file in the etc folder, which is our configuration file, called hosts. And we can see here that indeed a local host, so 127.0.0.1, gets translated to localhost. Localhost gets translated to this IP address. So we can add an entry here. Let's say we know an IP address and we want to give it a name. We can just add an entry in here in this format. So that's the reason that what we type in localhost, it will automatically go to our loopback address. So as you can see, this is working. Now I'm gonna install PHP. So basically, you have a front end and a back end. So the website on the front end, which means the browser interprets HTML and JavaScript. So those are your JavaScript is basically your browser's programming language. In the back end, you have PHP or some other programming language, which is the server programming language. So remember, JavaScript and HTML is used for the front end, so for the browser, and PHP is used for the server. We are gonna have to install PHP because it's not automatically installed. So we're gonna press sudo apt install PHP, and we need a module. Module is basically something that someone else has programmed, and we want to use some of its features. So we're gonna do lib apache 2 -mod -php. We want this module, and then we press enter, and this should install the module we want. So this seems to work. Let's see if we go to PHP info. This is a default place for PHP to test if PHP installed, and we see it's not working. So let's actually service apache 2 restart. Let's restart our servers. Just press authenticate, because we just, and refresh this page, and it's still not working. Okay, so this seems to be not working. We can create our own PHP info page, but we can also just do php-v to confirm if PHP is installed on the system. So this is php-v for version, and we can see that it is indeed installed.